I'm Nadia, and this is Under Construction. Today, we're going to be talking about clinical depression. Clinical depression, also known as major depression, major depressive disorder, is a different form of depression from the kind of depression that is brought on through stress, through loss, through um, yeah, through all that. That depression is different. It's more acute, whereas major depressive disorder is chronic. It's constant, right? It brought about, as with most mental disorders, from a imbalance in the brain. Yeah. So, um, while we're talking about major depressive disorder, if you are suffering through regular depression, um, be it from loss, from stress, from upheaval, anything, you still need to get help. You need therapy still. Your struggle is valid. Understand that. Anyway, um, now the symptoms to look out for major depressive disorder, whether you are looking out for a loved one and you notice they're a little, something's going on, or if you think that you are personally going through it, um, there are quite a lot of symptoms. I say quite a lot. Fatigue or loss of energy. Um, when I'm triggered, I do not leave the bed. I wake up tired, like complete loss of energy. Can't do anything because you're just always just tired, and who knows, you can't explain why, and people ask you, why are you so tired? And it's like, I don't know, I'm just tired, let me sleep, or just want to lay down all the time. um Feelings of worthlessness or guilt almost every day, and self-hatred. Those are some of the more difficult ones to deal with. um it could be you feeling that you are a burden on the people around you, the people who your support structure, um, the people who you love. You feel like you are a burden on them, like they deserve much better than you, and nothing can tell you otherwise. And you feel guilty for everything. You could bump into a door and apologize to the door. Like, you feel intense guilt. I have apologized to my mom and to my husband and to my best friend like so many times. Like, I'm sorry, I'm such a, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Because you feel extreme guilt for just existing. And it's terrible. It's a horrible, horrible feeling to feel like you are a burden, like the people around you actually hate you because they're tired of you. Having that feeling, it's it's not rational, and there's no point trying to rationalize it. It's not rational. There's nothing about these symptoms that's rational, right? It's just how the depression eats at you. Impaired concentration and indecisiveness. Um, that is a huge bit for me, especially indecisiveness. I cannot make a decision sometimes. If I'm in a depressive state, don't ask me anything. I can't make a decision because either way, it's not gonna make me happy either way. So, you know, and so I'm always like, oh no, do what you want, oh, type of thing. And then, is there something in my teeth? So, and then, please excuse that. Insomnia or hypersomnia. Big word alert. Um, Hypersomnia, sleeping constantly, whereas insomnia, no sleep. You could have both, where for like 3 days you'll be awake and then you sleep for 3 days. It has happened to me. Um, I have had days where I literally have nothing to do because I'm awake and it's 3 o'clock in the morning and there's no one out doing anything and I have nothing to do, but I can't sleep. Or I have 1,000 things to do, but I just want to sleep and I sleep. There was a time I was triggered and I went to my best friend's room and I got into her bed and I slept for 3 days. 3 days. And yeah, it gets bad because it's weird, you know? And the whole time you spend up awake, you're not in a good space. You're thinking about the worst things, but there's nothing you can do. Um, Diminished interest in pleasure in all activities called, big word alert, anhedonia. Um, Things that you love to do. You know, everyone has that one thing that like they love to do it no matter what. When you have major depression and it's triggered, that thing goes away. Just what you want. You don't want it anymore. Right? Like uh with me, I love coloring. I find it soothing. But when I'm depressed, I I can't even think about coloring, even though I can spend days coloring. After if I'm in a depressive state, I don't want anything to do with it. I don't want anything to do with anything I love doing. And that also translates to sexy time. Yeah, loss of libido when it comes to depression is very real. Um, you completely lose interest. And no matter how much you enjoyed it, no, you just lose interest. Um, Recurring thoughts of death or suicide, those come with the territory, especially if you're feeling guilt, self hatred. You start to think, well, things would be easier for them if I'm not here, you know, and it's a hard one to think of because I've had moments where I've thought to myself, uh, I could die. I could just end it, and I couldn't think of a good reason not to. And I think, and it translated to self harm, um, because yeah, it gets dark. That when you get to that point, it gets dark, and you start to think about death and start to think about ending it all because you don't feel like you're worthy of life. Like, you know, like you're worthy to continue living. You feel like if I go, everyone will be happier, and they won't. They will not be happier. Um, Significant weight loss or weight gain. Uh, when I was first diagnosed, I am almost 6 feet tall. Okay, I'm like 5'10", right? And I weighed 56 kilograms. Um, yeah, I was a twig. I was a stick. I had like small boobs and like like shoulders. You could see them. Like see my collarbones. Like it was crazy. I was tiny and tall, and yeah, my mom could hold me in her arms at I think I was 22. Yeah, at 22, my mom could hold me in her arms like a baby. Um, because I stopped eating. Um, I only started gaining weight back because my best friend um, would go out, buy my favorite food, come home, put it on a plate, put it in front of me on bed, sit on the bed, and go, I'm not going anywhere until you eat. Right? And yeah, and I'd eat eventually, and then I'd throw up. But sometimes I managed to keep the food down, and I started to gain my weight back with my support structure. Um, yeah. After losing all that weight, I was had a depressive episode again, a really long, months long one, where I gained 50 kilograms. I gained another person because I was eating my feelings. That's all I could do. Was just eat my feelings. And I gained a whole lot of weight. And yeah, it was it was a tough time, and I'm still trying to get rid of some of those extra kilograms because but then it doesn't help because sometimes when I'm depressed or when I'm hyper, I eat a lot. Like this week I ate an entire cake. Uh, baked by someone else, not me. Um yeah. Uh excuse me. Now the treatment of major depressive disorder is quite simply medication. Just medication, psychotherapy, find a good psychologist and a good psychiatrist and get your medication. Um, yeah, another more drastic uh, treatment would be ECT, which I have spoken about, electroconvulsive therapy, where they run an electric current through your brain and it lifts your mood. The convulsion lifts your mood somehow. Science, I don't know, but yeah, it works, and it worked for me personally because my medication wasn't quite doing as well as it should have done. So what the ECT did was that it helped boost the medication, so that it worked. And right now, I think I'm in a good place with my meds, with everything that's going on. Yeah, I think I'm in a good place. And uh, one thing I want to end off with is you are worthy, you are loved, take your medication, drink your water, eat, please eat, and I'll see you next week. Love, peace, and chicken grease.